So I recently just got back from GunCon 2025, and while I was there, I got to see a lot of cool stuff. But there was one particular gun there that I said as soon as I got home, I was going to have to add it to my collection. And that is what we have right here, the Derya DY9. Let's check it out. So let's get a couple things out of the way real quick before we start this review. I did buy this DY9 with my own money. This was not sent out to the channel for a review. And I also put out a full unboxing video on this gun, and I will link that at the end of this video and in the description below. Now, it was a fairly long video, but I went over everything with this gun. We went over all the specs. We went over everything that comes in the box. We also talked about mag compatibility. I also showed you how the optic system works. All of that stuff was covered in that unboxing video. So a lot of the specs on this DY9 are not going to get covered in this video. This is basically just going to be the range review and my thoughts after shooting 400 rounds through this gun. Now I'm going to show you that this gun is clear, no mag, nothing in the chamber. So what is the Derya DY9? Well, this is a striker fired handgun. It is chambered in 9mm. It has a 3.86 inch barrel, and yes, it runs on Glock mags. Now, as far as how I have this gun set up, I have the Siley Wolf EDG on here. This is an enclosed emitter red dot. Now, the DY9 only comes with one 15-round mag. Now, it does have its own proprietary base plate on here, and when you install the magazine, as you can see, it contours perfect with the mag well on the DY9. Now, while we're talking about magazines, like I said, it does run on Glock mags, and we took a bunch of different mags to the range. We were also testing out the X-Tech 17-round Glock mags, which there will be a review coming out on those soon. And I am happy to say that they ran flawless in the Derya DY9, and so did all those other Glock mags. In fact, out of the 400 rounds that we put on this gun, we had 0 malfunctions. Now, the DY9 comes in at under 300 beans, which is insane for as good as this gun is. And one other thing that I did with this gun that I very rarely ever do, I literally took this gun right out of the box and ran 400 rounds through it. Normally, any gun that I test on this channel, I always take them apart and clean them and lube them before I take them out to the range for a review. But I did not do that with this DY9. So let's start going over all the features on this gun, and we're just going to start here at the top and work our way down. Now, like I said, I do have the Siley Wolf EDG on here. This has the RMR footprint. Now, when you get this gun out of the box, it comes with 2 optic mounting plates. One of the plates is an RMR plate, and the other plate that it comes with is kind of a universal plate, but not really. You can use it for the Vortex footprint and the Doctor footprint, which covers Burris and a lot of dots that we really don't use anymore. Now, if you choose not to put an optic on this gun, it comes with some very nice sights on it. And these sights are made by True Glow. So you have the 2 green dots in the back, and up here in the front you have the red dot. And they work very well. They contrast nice. They're nice and bright out at the range. Just a really nice set of sights on this. Now when you look at the slide, it is very wide and blocky, a lot like a Glock. And it does have some serrations here in the front and on the rear. And like I said in the unboxing video, the serrations on this look really nice, but they're not the best for racking the slide on this gun. They're not very usable. So I would have liked to seen the serrations on the slide cut in a little bit deeper. They work, but on a very hot, sunny day and your hands are very sweaty, you are going to slide a little bit on the slide. So let's move on down to the frame, and that's where I start to really like this gun. So we're going to start off right up here in the front. We've got some really nice texture up here on the thumb ledge or gas pedal, whatever you want to call it. The texture is fairly aggressive. It has a very sandpapery feel. But man, once you get your thumb on that ledge, you can really push down on the front of this gun. And this gun shoots super flat as it is. But once you put a little force up there on that thumb ledge, it's really easy to keep this gun on target. Now we move down to the grip, and we have that same texturing right here. Very sandpapery. Not overly aggressive, but aggressive enough that on a super hot range day and your hands are getting sweaty, this gun's not going to slide around in your hand. Now, if we look here at the back, you've got some different serrations here, different texturing than what we have on the side. We have that same texturing on the front of the grip, and we also have that up here on the front of the trigger guard. Now, what's super cool about this gun, the back straps are replaceable. It does come with 4 back straps, so you have small, medium, large, and extra large. I am running the large on this. I believe it had the medium on it when I took it out of the box. The extra large, didn't really like how it felt. Now I do have some fairly big hands, but the large back strap worked the best for me. One other thing that I really like about the frame is this cut out right here. And when I grip this gun, my thumb just sits perfect right there. The only thing I would have liked to seen them do was add some texturing right there, but it feels really, really good in my hand. Now, one thing that I said in the unboxing video was normally a Glock 19 style pistol or a Glock 19 clone doesn't fit my hand very well. But that's not the case with this DY9, and that's because of this awesome magwell that they've put on this gun. And as you can see, my pinky sets perfect right there on the bottom of that magwell. It's got a nice flare out to it, and it's very easy to funnel the mags into the pistol. It's just a really great design on the magwell. And one other thing that I really like about the magwell is because it does hang down quite a bit off the frame, is if you want to run Glock 17 style mags in it, this is that X-Tech mag I was talking about earlier, you put this in the gun, and I think the 17 round mags look great. So if you want to carry this with a Glock 19 mag, so it's nice and flush inside the magwell, you can. And if you want to carry a backup mag with a little more capacity, well, you can throw a 17 mag in your pocket, and now you have a couple extra rounds. Now, one other thing I will mention about the back straps, if you want to change them out, you will have to remove the magwell first. You do have a screw here that you back out, and then you have a pin right here. You knock out the pin, change out your back strap, put your pin back in, and put the magwell back on and put the screw in, and you are good to go. Now, one other awesome thing about this gun is that technically it has a lot of Glock features, but it's not a Gen 3 clone, and that is because The magazine release on this is reversible, which is awesome when you are a wrong-handed shooter like myself. I like having my magazine release on the right-hand side of the gun so I can drop my mag with my thumb. And one other really awesome thing with the DY9 is I do not have to break my grip to drop the magazine. And speaking of the grip, it does have a pretty nice undercut right there. And even with my larger hands and the mag well, I'm not getting pinched right here on the trigger guard like I do on some other compact guns. Now you do have an accessory rail out here on the front, as you can see. And if you watch the unboxing video, I did put a couple different lights on this gun so you could see what they look like. But as far as lights go, the Streamlight TLR1 HL fits great on this, and so does the awesome Harbor Freight Streamlight knockoff light. And the Streamlight TLR7 HLX looks great on here. That's kind of the light that I prefer to run on this, but if you have the Streamlight or a Streamlight clone, they work great on the DY9. So let's talk about my shooting experience with this gun after 400 rounds. One of the biggest things for me once I got a couple mags through it was how flat this gun shoots. But I honestly think one of the biggest things that helps with how flat this gun shoots is the design of this guide rod and recoil spring. It works really well. But I honestly thought that this gun shot just as flat as my everyday carry gun, which is my Ross Martin RM1C comp. Now, speaking of comps, one of the biggest reasons I picked up this gun is because they also have a gun out called the DY9 Island. You can buy that as a complete pistol, or you can just go to their website and buy the slide. Now, I have a couple shorts up on the channel of what that Island slide looks like. But basically, it is a ported slide / ported barrel. It's kind of hard to explain. You just have to look at it. And everyone that I've talked to that has it and has shot it said that it shoots stupid flat. And this gun already shoots very flat. So having that slide on this is going to make this gun even better. Now, from what I've seen with the Island, if you decide to buy the complete gun, it's all black and it comes in at 599 beans. So the reason that I went with this and not the Island right out the gate is because of the color of this gun. I love this all gray. And once I put that Island black slide on this, it's going to contrast very well. The second reason why I went this route instead of just going with the complete Island pistol is because I do a ton of optic reviews on this channel and I want to have another slide to test optics on. Plus, I think it's going to make a super cool comparison video to take this gun as it's set up here to the range and put it up against the Island slide head to head and see how much recoil reduction we're actually looking at going from this slide to the Island slide. So there's going to be a lot more content coming up with this gun. So we can't talk about the shootability of the DY9 without talking about the actual trigger on this gun. So as you can see, this does have a trigger safety or dingus, whatever you like to call it. And this gun actually has a great trigger. Kinda. We're going to talk about that. So here is your take up. Very smooth. It's not crunchy. There's no grit. You hit that wall and you just get a nice clean break. There's no creep on that trigger at all. Now what's really awesome on this is the reset. It's very short, very tactile and audible, and it really forces your finger forward. And then you're right back on that wall and you get that nice clean break. So I love how this trigger functions, but there is a problem with this trigger and it is very heavy. So if you watch the unboxing video, we did do trigger pulls on this with the Wheeler trigger pull scale, and the best we could get was 6 pounds. We got quite a few 7-pound pulls on this trigger. But now that we have 400 rounds on it, I've got my Wheeler trigger pull scale right here. Let's do a couple trigger pulls on it and see what we're getting now. Alright, it's gone down just a little bit. We're actually under 6 pounds now. We're sitting right about 5 3/4. Let's do one more. Now that time I pulled it right on the center of the trigger, and there it is, right back at that 7 pound mark. So the trigger pull on this is quite heavy, but even with the heavier trigger pull, I was still able to shoot the gun fairly fast, for me anyhow. And like I said, it was very easy to stay on target with as flat as this gun shoots. And honestly, once I got to the range, I didn't even really care about that trigger pull weight anymore. I honestly think this is probably one of the best budget offerings out there right now. The gun shoots amazing. It ran 100% reliable. We really didn't talk much about ammunition yet, so let's go over that a little bit. As far as all the ammo we used, we did use a lot of my reloads. We used the 125 grain Steel Valley casting reloads and the Berry's Bullets reloads. But I did want to run a lot of factory ammo through this gun because I know a lot of you that watch the channel don't reload like I do. So we ran Winchester 115 grain white box, CCI Blazers in 115 grain and 124 grain. We also ran Remington UMC, and we even ran some of that crappy 115 grain Herders ammo from Cabela's, and it even ran 100% flawless. So at the end of the day, do I recommend this DY9? Absolutely. I think everybody should have this gun. I mean, especially for the price and what you're getting with this. It's just a damn good gun. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.